everyone, welcome back to the show. Mark, you've been digging into some interesting stuff lately, right?
Oh yeah, Jenny, I have. I came across this report from INE, Top 5 Networking Trends of 2025. And let me tell you, it's fascinating. It was updated today, as a matter of fact.
Oh, perfect timing. So what's the big takeaway? What's got you all excited?
Well, it's this whole idea of AI-powered network operations, or AIOps. It's not just a futuristic concept anymore. It's becoming, well, normal. Standard practice even.
Okay, hold on. AIOps. That's basically using AI to run networks, right? But isn't that, super complicated?
It is, but that's the cool part. See, these systems, they're not just monitoring, they're learning, predicting. Imagine your network catching problems before they even cause issues.
So fewer late-night emergency calls about network outages? I like the sound of that.
Exactly. It's like, in those sci-fi movies where the ship's computer just, knows what to do? It's kind of heading towards that, but for real-world networks.
Okay, that's pretty cool. But what about security? That's always a big concern.
That's where the next trend comes in. Zero trust architecture. Jenny, this is important, especially now. It's all about trust no one by default.
Trust no one? Sounds a bit paranoid, doesn't it?
Maybe. But think about it. With everyone working from everywhere, that old safe perimeter, it's gone. Every connection, every device, it all needs to be verified. Constantly.
So it's like every user is a potential, threat?
Not exactly a threat, but let's say a potential risk until proven otherwise. It's all about checking and checking again, microsegmentation, continuous monitoring. That's the game.
I guess that makes sense. Better safe than sorry, right? Especially with how connected everything is now. So how do people even manage all this?
That's where trend number 3 comes in. Network infrastructure automation and programmability. We're talking serious coding skills here, not just clicking around.
Coding? For networks? I thought that was just for software developers.
Well, things are changing. Now it's about infrastructure as code, or IAC Python, APIs. That's the language of modern network engineers. It is essential.
So instead of manually setting up routers and switches, you're writing code that does it for you?
Right. And it's not just about saving time. It's more accurate, more scalable. You can deploy changes across a huge network in, minutes.
That sounds efficient. But what if you're working with, different cloud providers? That's a whole other layer of complexity.
You're spot on. And that brings us to trend 4. Multi-cloud networking optimization. This is where things get really interesting. It's the way of the future.
Okay, so dealing with not just one, but multiple cloud environments. What's the big deal there?
It's like, imagine you have data on AWS, apps on Azure, and some stuff on Google Cloud. They all need to talk to each other, right? Securely and efficiently.
So you need to be a specialist in every cloud platform?
Not necessarily a specialist in each, but you need to understand how they connect. It's all about optimizing those connections, ensuring data flows smoothly, and keeping it all secure. It's a balancing act, really.
Sounds like a headache, but a necessary one.
It can be, but that's why we're seeing new tools and strategies emerge. And this ties into our last big trend. Network security mesh architecture.
Security mesh? That sounds like something out of a superhero movie. Is it some type of digital force field?
Kind of. It's a distributed approach. Instead of one big security wall, you have multiple layers, protecting every part of the network, no matter where it is.
So it's like having multiple security checkpoints rather than just one main gate?
Exactly. Every endpoint, every connection gets its own security. It's a much more flexible and adaptable approach, especially when you have people and devices all over the place.
It makes sense. So instead of a castle with a big moat, you've got a city with security everywhere.
I like that analogy. And you know what all these trends have in common, Jenny?
Let me guess. They all require a lot of skill and learning to implement?
You got it. That's why Dara Warren, CEO of INE, says, organizations that invest in robust technical training and certification programs will be better positioned to navigate these changes and protect their digital assets while maximizing the potential of emerging technologies.
So it's not just about keeping up with the tech, but also about investing in the people who make it all work.
Precisely. It's a whole new world of networking, and it's evolving fast. What an exciting time to be in tech, right?
It really is. Thanks for breaking it all down, Mark. I think our listeners have a lot to think about. Well, everyone, that's all for today's episode. Catch you next time as we continue to explore the ever-changing world of technology.